You got a friend in me.
You've got a friend in me.
You just remember what your old pal said, boy. You got a friend in me.
Well, this was a long time coming. Toy Story 4 is easily the most overhated film in Pixar's entire library. There are some defenders for this movie out there, but nope, it's been pretty universally seen as the worst Toy Story movie. Everyone sees it as a mediocre or bad conclusion to the series. And I get why, considering Toy Story 3 basically ended things perfectly. So ruining that ending with another Toy Story movie is pretty much the biggest reason as to why so many people loathe this movie. And what do I have to say about that? Simple. Screw you haters, because this movie's awesome! Yeah, that's right, I'm one of the few people out there that actually considers Toy Story 4 to be a good movie. It doesn't quite top 2 or 3 for me, but it's still a really good film that not only maintains most of the same elements that makes Toy Story special, but is also able to tell a whole new story, giving Woody a much more compelling arc and ending his journey on a satisfying note. I bet a lot of what I just said sounds crazy to you people. Why do I think Toy Story 4 is so great? And what makes it a satisfying conclusion to the Toy Story series? You know, for now. Well, let's talk about that. Now look, I'm not gonna act like Toy Story 3 wasn't a fantastic conclusion to the original trilogy. It was the perfect finale to the toys and Andy's journeys. But when looking at the franchise as a whole, it's always been about Woody, and him learning to live with the fact that at some point, he won't always be needed. His purpose throughout the series, that sense of belonging and being there always for his kid, won't remain permanent for long. So even though Toy Story 3 is a great finale to the Andy saga, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of Woody's journey. He's still trying to find his place, his true meaning for living, not as a toy, but as an individual, his own person. And now that Woody's no longer a part of Andy's life, and now that even his new kid doesn't play with him as much anymore, he's stuck with the question, what is my purpose now? Enter Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 starts off with, well, an emotional flashback of Bo Peep leaving, and then a montage of Woody's life with Andy, leading into his new life with his new kid, Bonnie. The movie soon makes it clear that Woody is not one of Bonnie's favorites like he was Andy's. He's often left abandoned in a closet and completely unnoticed and unused. I mean, Bonnie's dad literally steps on him. Woody hasn't totally moved on from Andy. He's distanced away from most of Bonnie's life and his friends, which results in him feeling left behind and unwanted. So when the chance comes along for Woody to be there for Bonnie, he jumps in immediately because he's certain that's what his purpose in life is. This also becomes present when making sure Forky, a new toy Bonnie made in school, is always there by her side. Woody's biggest flaw in this movie is that he no longer has that parent-child relationship he had in the past, something that gave him a purpose. He's basically stuck in an existential crisis. He's aimless, has no other goals, and he's struggling to find new meaning in his life. Most of Woody's identity comes from the lenses of others, not how he sees himself to be. He was always someone else's and never truly his own individual. He's viewed himself as belonging to his kid, and any choice he made, he followed along with them. His ideal has always been focused on sticking by his kid's side, but the opening flashback of this movie gives a great way of challenging this original notion. We see the scene where Bo Peep is given away because she made the choice to leave and to determine on her own where her life goes next. It's in the scene that Woody has the opportunity to leave her, but he declines because his purpose with Andy hadn't yet been fulfilled. But when the two reunite with each other and Woody learns that Bo had been a lost toy for the past 7 years, this sends him deeper into his crisis, as this is something he had never considered up until that point, to live in full freedom. An opportunity he didn't approve with because it didn't align with his original ideas of purpose. The genius of this film is that none of this is ever told to us through dialogue that much. It shows us how naturally Woody finds his new purpose, by becoming a lost toy himself and helping others find their owners, essentially rejecting everything he had learned about being a toy. Now, this is a common criticism I see from this movie regarding this element. A lot of people find this new story to be a huge contradiction to the rest of the franchise, and it diminishes Woody's character entirely. I can definitely see where those people are coming from, but those criticisms couldn't be further from the bigger picture. The first 3 films drilled home the point that life's only worth living if you're being loved by a kid. But this movie tells you that it's sometimes not the case, and there's more to life for a toy than what they were made for. Woody has always put his kids' needs before his own. He's constantly performing selfless acts for both Andy and Bonnie, being there always through their ups and downs. But in this movie, at the end, he decides to do something for himself and journey with Bo Peep to help other kids in need. This is our true goodbye to Woody, a send-off for a character we've been with from the very beginning, a character who's always helped others before helping himself. And this is the core theme of the movie, that your purpose in life is not worth living if you can't occasionally do something for yourself. And it's through this that the Toy Story franchise, for now, is able to conclude on a satisfying note.
Does this mean Woody's a lost toy?
He's not lost. Not anymore. To infinity and beyond.
Oh boy. What are you looking at? I'm not emotional. You're emotional. Leave me alone! Okay, but seriously, Toy Story 4 is a great conclusion to the series. This story takes the themes that worked in the original trilogy and retools them into a whole new story that gives the franchise a satisfying conclusion. But it feels like nobody's gonna agree with me with anything I just talked about in this video. I mean, the movie has a positive enough reception on Letterboxd and its Rotten Tomatoes percentage is high. But then again, look at all the other negative reviews. So, yeah, I guess people really do hate this one the most, and I'm the only one who feels this way. I mean, opinions are opinions, I'm not downing that, but I really thought there were other people out there that had the same feelings that I do about this movie, but maybe not. If it's true what they say, if there's nothing to be done, no one else thinks this is great, or even at least better than 1. If it's true what they say, is this how the world is? To be told that this great film is worse than Cars 2 and Lightyear, it'll always be like this? If it's true what they say, I'll be on my way. But who are they to say what the truth is anyway? Because the ones who rate the films always say the 4th is bad. And the ones who actually listen immediately get riled up and mad. And the ones who made this film are so proud of what they did. And it didn't go this hard just to get treated like. So I'm asking if it's true. I'm asking me, and you, and you, and you. I believe our ratings matter more than anything they say. We should all log into Letterboxd, give it good scores today. I believe this is the way. Also, give Good Dinosaur a bad score, because this number is too high. I believe this movie is awesome, and I'm not the only guy. Others like this movie, not just I. I believe that we are many. I believe that they are few. And it isn't for the few to tell the many what is true. So I ask you, if it's true what they say, I'll be on my way. Tell me what to do. Is it true? Is it true what they say?